Hare Krishna. So reading from Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran. This is 10th canto, 24th chapter and text 6 and 7. So text, repeat after me. Jnatva ajnata cha karmani janoyam anutishthati vidusah karma siddhu syat yatha nividusho bhavet jnatva ajnata cha karmani janayam anutishtanti vidusah karma siddhi syat yatha na vidusho bhavet jnatva jnatva cha karmani janayam anutishthati vidusah karma siddhi syat yatha na vidusho bhavet. Read this. Janayo manutishthati vidusah karma siddhi syat yatha na vidusho bhavet jnatva jnatva cha karmani janoyam anutishthati vidusah karma siddhi syat yatha na vidusho bhavet jnatva jnatva cha karmani janoyam anutishtanti vidusah karma siddhi syat yatha na vidusho bhavet. Mataji. Jnatva jnatva cha karmani janayo manutishtanti vidusah karma siddhi syat yatha na vidusho bhavet. So word for word meaning. Jnatva, understanding. Ajnatva, not understanding. Cha, also. Karmani, activities. Janaha, the common people. Ayam, this. Anutishtanti, perform. Vidusaha, for one who is wise. Karma siddhi, achievement of the intended goal of activity. Syat, arises. Yatha, as. Not. Avidusaha, for one who is foolish. Bhavet, occurs. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So translation is here. When people in this world perform activities, sometimes they understand what they are doing, sometimes they don't. Those who know what they are doing achieve success in their work, whereas ignorant people do not. Purport. The Lord here informs His Father and that people should perform a particular ceremony or activity only after thoroughly understanding it through discussion with friends. We should not be blind followers of tradition. If a person does not even know what he is doing, how can he be successful in his work? This essentially is the Lord's argument in this verse. Since Sri Krishna, as the young child of Nanda, would naturally be expected to show enthusiasm for his father's religious activities, it was the father's duty to give the son a thorough explanation of the ceremony. Text 7. Tatra tavat kriya yoga bhavatam kim vicharitaha अथवा लौकिकस्तन में पृच्छतः साधु भव्यताम. Translation is here. Such being the case, this ritualistic endeavor of yours should be clearly explained to me. Is it ceremony based on scriptural injunction or simply a custom of ordinary society? Om jnanatimirandhasya ज्ञानंजना शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददान्ति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथं नितं त्वं सजीवं स अद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत कांत नमस्तुते. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, before speaking on this two verses, I would like to seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas present here. So, yesterday Maharaj gave very nice class on this whole pastime, worshipping the Govardhan hill. So today I will just discuss this two verse. So here Lord Krishna, he was asking question to his father. So in the Vedic literatures, you will find there are so many questions, so many answers. Everybody, anyone has any questions, he can ask the questions. He has the right to ask questions. So that's why in Vedanta Sutra, the first aphorism is Arthato Brahma Jigyasa. One must inquire about the Supreme Brahman, absolute truth. And the answers are also there. These answers are not speculative answers. These are all authentic and with realizations and full of proof. But still, people say this mythology. These are speculations. So in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asked many questions. Arjuna said, Karpanya dosa upahata svabhavam Prichami tvam dharma samudha cheta etasyan nishchitam bruhitan me sishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. Arjuna is telling, Oh Lord, I am confused about my duty. And I am asking you because you know, you are dharma samudha cheta, you know the dharma, you know what is right, what is the right duty for a human being, you know it. So that's why I am asking the questions. And what is Shreya, what is good for me, what is beneficial for me, that you tell me. I am now surrendered to you. So Arjuna asking questions, okay. And in Bhagavatam also there are so many questions are raised and asked to the Lord. But here the Lord is asking the question. Lord is asking question to his father. Because Lord Krishna and Balaram, Kritavan Kilakarmani Saharamena Kesava, Artimatyani Bhagavan, Gudha Kapata Manusaha. Lord is acting, he is in the human form of life, this human form, this Leela is there. So that's why here, so when Krishna and Balaram they saw, Apasyan Nivasan Gopan, they saw the Gopas, the Vrindavan Vasis, what they are doing? Indra Yoga Kritadyatavan. They are doing one yajna, which is meant for Indradev. When they saw Lord Krishna, he is the omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. He is the super soul, Sarvasya Chaham Hridhi Sanmishtam. He is inside the heart of everybody. So Lord, he knows. But still he is asking the question. His inquiry was to his father and the elderly person, those who were present there. So Lord Krishna asked this question that, kindly explain to me why you are endeavoring so much for this yajna. This is a good question. This is intelligent questions. Nowadays, for such yajnas, if somewhere this is going on, no one is asking the question that why you are performing this yajna. No one. Once I was doing program in Nandurbar district. So that time they were doing some ritualistic like Devi Pujan. So in that village, I asked to some young boys. So they were very enthusiastic to celebrate that function or program. So then when I asked, who is this Devi, who is this goddess? And when I asked all these questions related to that program, so no one was there, those who could explain me that for this reason, yeah, this is the goddesses. No one knows. Just they are doing. Yajna. This tract of land is called Aryavarta, where previously people used to do yajnas. There are so many yajnas. These are mentioned in the scriptures. In second canto of Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami prescribed if someone has many desires, that person should worship that demigods. And that appointed authority by the Lord, the demigods, they actually give a sanction. Whatever your needs, whatever your desires, that will be fulfilled. But at the end, Sukadeva Goswami says, Akama sarva kama mukhya kama udaradhi tibrena bhakti yogena yajate purusha puman. He says, you have desires, or kama, no desires, full of desires. If you have a desire to liberate yourself, for the liberation also he says, if a yogi, he has the desire to visit other planets, he should left his body and take the subtle body and goes to travel different planets. That is also mentioned. But at the end, the conclusion was Tibrena Bhakti Yogena. With rapt attention, with unadulterated devotion to the Lord, he will achieve the desire in his life. So that is mentioned in the scriptures. So yajnas are there. Putreshti yajna. There is Angiras yajna, those Brahmanas who were performing to elevate themselves to the heavenly planets. And there is Jyotishtam yajna. So these yajnas are prescribed in the scriptures. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says in 2nd chapter, Yamimam puspitam vacham prabhadanti abhipaschita. Veda, Bada, Ratah Partha. Na anyat asti iti badina. They only read the scriptures. They always searching where it is mentioned. That is favorable for them. Then it is mentioned, Kamatmana Swarga Para. Janma Karma Phala Pradam. So they want some result, like good life, elevated, wants to elevate to the upper planets and the heavenly planets. Money, wealth, so many things are mentioned. But Kriya Vishesha Bahulam Janma Karma Phala Pradam. At the end, repeated birth and repeated death again and again. So previously people used to do yajnas. Once Srila Prabhupada, he gave me one lecture. In that lecture he says, but when Lord Buddha appeared, he actually condemned. He stopped the yajnas. Nindasi yajna vidhir asruti jatam. Oh, these are mentioned in the scriptures. When the peoples, that time, they were slaughtering the animals. They are sacrificing the animals in the yajnas. They are killing just to please their tongues. So Lord Buddha saw this. So that's why he said that, oh, these are mentioned in the Vedas. Stop it. So he stopped. He condemned the process, yajning process. But Srila Prabhupada said another story. He said, when the yajnas they were performing, that time, all the demigods, they actually leave their places in heaven. They come to the earthly planet to take part in those yajnas. So, the goddesses, they were calling to their husbands, where are you all? Then they said, no, we are now present in Mumbai. There is a yajna is going on. Some person is performing. So always they are absent. That's why they plead to the Lord, oh Lord, do something that our husbands will be with us. So that's why Lord Buddha, he incarnated, he comes and he actually propagated this idea. Srila Prabhupada said this story. Yes. But nowadays, they have this propaganda that don't do any yajnas. Through their education systems, through their preaching, through their any public meetings place, they are trying to convince the people, don't do yajnas, don't do all these things. This happened recently, last 100 years. Previously, the kings, Rajarsaya Viduhu, the kings, they were ruling the citizens according to the scriptural injunctions. Whatever the scripture says, so that's why previously the administration and this religious principles, dharma, these are combined. But last 100 years, on the name of secular state, they actually keep aside this religious principles or dharmic principles, and they are only propagating these administrations. That is going on. When you do programs in schools and outside, all of you have this realizations. The boys, when you tell them, chant the holy name. Come, we want to tell something to you. They are fearful, they are afraid, and they leave. Bhag jate. You know? Most of the time, when we preach them, we tell them, no, we are not talking, please come. Somehow there we try to give them, but they are reluctant to take. So that's going on. But in the scriptures, the yajnas, although the yajna for the demigods are prescribed, but Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, antavantu phalati sam. The results one derives, the demigods, whatever they gave, the boons, these are very flickering. These are not permanent. But people do, okay, that's good. So here Krishna and Balaram, Krishna specifically is asking the question to his father that jnatva agyatva cha karmani. If you are performing this yajna, whatever this functions if you are performing, do you know this? Why you are doing? So Krishna is telling, generally, to ask some senior that, do you know this? Is it little bit, awkward feeling? But Krishna can ask. Sri Sri Gaur Nitai Bhagwan ki jai. Sri Sri Radha Rasuri Bhagwan ki jai. Sri Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai. So Lord Krishna can ask questions. So Lord Krishna, when he asked this question, the elderly members and his father, they didn't give any attention. That is maybe child. Children, they are asking question. He is asking question. But Krishna, he is not the God just by practicing meditation. Practicing any spiritual activity, he never become God. He is the God. It is mentioned in the scriptures that he is God. Janmad yasyatah anyat chartheshu abhigya surat. From whom everything emanates. Natat sama na abhyadikasta drusyate. No one is superior to him. No one is equal with him. These are mentioned in the scriptures. But the Aishwarya Bhav, the Lord when exhibits his pastimes, his devotees, those his associates, they also could not understand this. Gyantva agyantva cha karmani. So whatever we do, we should do it knowingly. We should know it. Why am I doing? What is this? But people are agyatva. They don't know. Who are those people who don't know? Who don't have any inclination to also know nowadays. Srila Prabhupada, he wrote in the purport like, Namam duskritino mudha prapadyanti naradhama maya apahruta jnanam asurim bhava asrita. Those who are foolish, mudha, murkha, unintelligent persons. Who are they? Nowadays, education for all up to 14 years. Yes, we have the scheme, government scheme. Everybody gets the education from the schools and colleges. But that person is unintelligent, that person is agya, muda, who does not have any knowledge about spirits, atma, paramatma, that person. It means categorically, those people, those who got the decorated certificates from the big universities, they only studied their academic, but no knowledge about the spirituality. They are called agya. Then Nara Adhama. Naradhama, the class, those people who are although seeing that they are like human beings, but their behavior, their action, their activities are not like human beings. Naradhama. And the third category is Maya Apahruta Jnanam. Maya Apahruta Jnanam is those category peoples, those who study the scriptures, but they don't have faith. They don't have faith, like Asradhana. Then, beyond that, there is Sansayatma, those who are doubtful. They read the scriptures. After reading, they have doubt that whether Krishna is God or not, like that. They are Maya Aparhuta Jnana. And the fourth category is Asvarim Bhava Asrita. Asvarim Bhava Asrita means like those peoples who are against of this Vedic culture. They are not following any, scriptures. They don't have faith on God, like that. Nowadays, you can see this more prominently, this Asurim Bhava Asrita people. So these people are Ajnatva. They don't know what they are doing. They don't know. So Krishna, he is telling, he is not actually advocating to do some superstitions, superficial activities. Superstitions nowadays very prominent on the Vishwas. Yes. Once we were doing campaign for the schools, so we stayed one, and that day we halted in one temple. So people were visiting to that temple, and there is a small temple in that big temple. In that temple's name was Manasi Devi Mandir. Manasi Devi Mandir. There is a small stone, a round stone. And people visit and they go to that place and just they do thoda sa ghuma dete the sa, and they speak something like that. They were doing whole day. They were doing that just to move that stone little bit and speak something and go away. So whole day I was watching this, that what they are doing. So evening time I asked to one senior, means old persons. Then I called and I asked, what you are doing all? Then they were telling that actually we are telling here whatever our desire. Suppose someone wants his children, someone wants something, money or something else. Like that they tell. So whole day was going on that. Suppose those people who visit to that temple, whatever they said, their desires, their manaskamana, whatever they are, if that will be not fulfilled, there will be no result, then what? People become atheistic. मेरा काम नहीं हुआ, उधर मैं गया था, काम हुआ ही नहीं, like that. One boy in South India, he met us. And he said, I will visit your temple. Juhu, no? You are from Juhu? I'm like, yes, I will visit. Like, why you want to visit? Then that boy said, actually my friend visited your temple. He got a service. He got a job. And also he recently married. So that's why I want to visit. It means people goes to all those holy places like church, mosque, temples. Wherever they go, they have a long list and the demands, they seek that yes, that should be fulfilled. Srila Prabhupada says, if such things is there, people have only that mentality to go to the places of like holy places, then how many days? How many days? As long as their trust and belief and faith is there, that results they are getting, that much they will go. Otherwise, they will stop to go. So when we preach, when we meet the people, most of the time, those who converted themselves, those who lost faith in Sanatana Dharma, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, they lost. Sometimes they switch up from this to that. And we will ask them questions, why you did this? Then they will answer, no results. So that's why here Lord Krishna is teaching us that we must understand what we are doing. Srila Prabhupada, he is the same who went to Western countries and he preached this message of Bhagavad Gita. He translated all these books in English language. When he was translating Bhagavatam in Vrindavan, that time other scholars, they were criticizing. Oh, Bhaktivedanta Swami, he is translating Bhagavatam. He should give comment on Upanishad. He should comment on other philosophical aspects of the scriptures. Why he is writing a comment on Bhagavatam? But Srila Prabhupada commented on Bhagavatam. And he gave the commentary from the Acharyas. What our Acharya says. What our Acharya says, he presented as it is. And this book, when it translated, yesterday Maharaj was telling that when he went to America, he first translated the book, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that book in America. Because he wanted to give Krishna to the people. So this Krishna book, because I have when I distribute the books, so one of our devotee, he was selling more Krishna book, 10th canto. So all the trips, every trips, he distributed maximum Krishna book, like 200, 300 books, he himself distributed. So we were thinking, how he is telling the people such a big book, and generally Bhagavad Gita people take. Okay, Bhagavad Gita, malum hai. But Krishna book, so one day, I wanted to know what he is telling. Do you want to know what he was telling? Yes. So what he was telling, whenever I meet the people, he was not telling that about this book. उसके बारे में नहीं बता रहा था. He was telling, you have some problem? And yes, I have so many problems. Graha dos hai. Graha dos, Sunny, Ketu, like that. So he first asked the question to people. And people said, definitely, I am suffering, I have so many problems. So he says that I have that solutions for you. If you read this book, Krishna book, then all your problems will be solved. All the graha, nakshatra, whatever, Rahu, Ketu is after you, they will go away. And all auspicious, ghar mein koi jhagda nahi hoga. He was explaining like that. And people say, very nice, Maharaj. How much? Then whatever the amount he says, people gives. One old person, he told me, because he gave that book, and then I went and I asked him, then what Maharaj said to you, what that devotee. Then he told me the whole things. Then I understood, yes. So the Krishna book, Lord Krishna, So in Maharashtra there is famous Kalecha Kirtan. Kalecha Kirtan means that black person, Kalecha Kirtan means, so they, whatever they do, the Bhagavad Katha at the end, the 7th day, they do this Kalecha Kirtan. So I use this term, Kalecha. This Kala Bhakti, you want to know him, read this book, like that. So people are arguing, no knowledge, practically no knowledge about anything, about yajna, about our dharma, our Vedic tradition, culture, no knowledge. But Srila Prabhupada, he translated all these books and he said to his devotees, to all of us, somehow or other, push these books in the society. Push. Kaise bhi tor banto. Whatever your knowledge, whatever your qualifications, whatever your capacity, you can do the best. If you will distribute one books, when that person will read, sometimes devotees, they think that, should I give this book or not? First of all, this is a newcomer, let me give small books. Chota books deta hu. Then big books. Then like that, we preach and we give the books. Yes? But we give the whole sets. Whole books we give. Now take this. Imagine the Nectar of Devotion, that book. I used to give that book, Because most of the people say, Bhagavata hai, Bhagavata hai. We have Bhagavata. We don't want to take any books. I have. Then I said, this is a new book. 500 years before. Rupa Goswami, a great saint. He wrote this book in Sanskrit. Now it is translated in your own language. Please read. Then, what is inside this book? I said, first 6 chapters you read. Pehla 6 padho. What is written there? About bhakti. Then we say, you want to teach your children what to do, how to do, when to do, all these things about religion, about, everything is described in this book. And people take. One more book, the teachings of Lord Kapila and teachings of Lord Mother Kunti. These books are, when we give. So we actually innovated one new idea. What is that idea? So there is photo, a small boy who is sitting like this, Lord Kapila, teachings Lord Kapila. So we tell to the people, if you want to know what is written in our scriptures, sometimes you go to some big sadhu, Babaji, some Pandit, Brahman. But here a small boy is speaking about pure devotional service. Please, do you like to hear from this small boy? बोलते हाँ मैं तो जरूर सुनूंगा इसको. So then people take. So all these small books we give like that. So these Agnya peoples, they can understand what is their duty, karmani, what is their prescribed duty in their life. In a short period of time, what can we preach? Sometimes we give the lectures. Sometimes nowadays I am giving the lectures, I am cultivating the students, the congregations, I am cultivating. But wherever I visit, wherever I go, I first will ask the peoples whether you read these books or not. Most of the peoples, they have the books, but they don't have time to read. They have the whole programs, but they don't read books like that. They will do programs, but I at least say to them, you have like these programs, at least 15 minutes at least. Yeah, half an hour. Yeah, 1 hour. At least read. So if someone will read, then he will become Gyantva. Yes, he will understand what is his duty. First of all, his duty towards the society, towards the family member, towards that country. But beyond that, there is the duty for the God. Atapumbi dujaseshta varnasrama vibhagasa. Swanishtitasa dharmasya samsiddhi haritosanam. At the end, one should understand that, yes, my duty is to please the Supreme Lord. So we were doing program in Indore. One of the lawyer, he came and he talked with me. And when we were discussing, after the discussion, he gave me his card, visiting card. In that visiting card, it was written, Madhav Seva, Manav Seva, he Madhav Seva. That one line was written. Manav Seva, he Madhav Seva. Then we discussed on that point another half an hour. What you wrote in your visiting card, then I asked whether this is, how much percent this is correct. It is okay. By serving the humanity, okay, it is like the service to the God. Okay, ठीक है, कुछ percent. But what is the 100%? So he was confused. Big lawyer. So such question from me, he was not expecting, unexpectable. And I heard from Srila Prabhupada that what his Prabhupada says, Madhav Seva hi Manav Seva. When we do the service to the Lord, that is actually real service to the humanity, to the society, to the family, but that is a real service. So here, the Vidusa, those who are intelligent persons, they actually take up all these teachings, which is mentioned in the scriptures. So that's why one of these songs, it is said, Prabhura agyaye magi, magi ei bhikya, kaho Krishna, bhajo Krishna, karo Krishna sikhya. So we plead to the people that yes, please, this is the order of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are begging here, like a beggar, please chant the holy name of Krishna. Please do bhajan and please take up these teachings, Sikhya. Lord Krishna, in 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he says, Yeme matam idam nityam anutishtanti manavaha. Those persons who execute their duties according to the injunction, the opinion of the Lord Krishna, with faith, these persons can free themselves from the bondage of fruitive actions. They can be freed. Otherwise, it is not possible to be freed from this material world. So that's why those who are avidusaha, those who are unintelligent, those who are not interested, so they will actually, here it is said, they will not get success. So that's why Krishna says here, he is asking this, whether this ritualistic ceremony you are all performing, so these are based on the scriptural injunctions or not. This is the famous verse like Smruti, Shruti, Puranadi, Pancharatrika Vidhim Vina. Ekantikam Hare Bhakti, Utpata Eva Kalpate. So, Srila Prabhupada, in this mission, we see, in this Brahma Madhya Gaudiya Sampradaya, we always emphasized on this, that either this is from the scriptures or not. Anything someone speaks, we immediately ask whether it is from the scriptures or not, like that. We always asked this. And people says, who wrote this? Maybe these are, you all are talking. So once we are doing the program, some people, they come, gather people, so many people they came. And they actually arguing with us that whatever your books you have written, some things are, these are false, like that. They were arguing with us. But somehow sometimes they try to convince us these are wrong. Yeah, they tried their best to discredit. But we somehow try to convince them that no, these are very authorized books, authentic books. So that's why the ritualistic ceremonies, whatever we perform, this must be from the scriptures. Shastra se hona hi chahiye. Sometimes the shastras, there is contradictions. Virodhabas hai. One shastra prescribes something, another shastra, there is some contradictions. How to understand it? We should understand it from the scriptures. From the scriptures. From the acharyas. Acharya mam bijanyam. Recently there was one controversy. So this controversy was about Bhagavad Gita. So last time we were distributing books here in Andheri station, one person he took Bhagavad Gita from us. Bhagavad Gita as it is. So that person actually, he has so many versions of Bhagavad Gita. So many. From Gita Press, there are so many versions. So he was asking one question, that 13th chapter. We have that verse, Bhagavad Gita, 1 minute. 13th chapter, first number verse, that was 1 minute. What is the? So in that verse, actually, he said that this verse is an art. In your Gita, this is added. But Bhagavad Gita, Gita Press, this is not there. Prakrutim purusham chaiva khetram khetragyam evacha etat veditum ichchami jnanam geyam cha kesava. This verse. So I never thought that this verse is whether in other publication or not. So I said him that yes, I will check and I will tell. So I asked many senior devotees about this verse. And I also checked in. So I found this is from Ramanujacharya, Bhagavad Gita commentary. Then there is Madhvacharya, his commentary. Baladev Devaswan commentary, this verse is there. So recently we visited Vada Farm. So there we met Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. So when we meet some devotees, suppose we have some confusions, we have some doubts, so we ask this same question to him. Then he said that because from the 12th chapter and 13th chapter, there is, there is little bit connection gap is there. Because in 13th chapter, 12th chapter, Lord Krishna was speaking about devotional service. And 13th chapter, this verse, Prakriti, nature, the enjoyer of the nature, like that. So that's why this question is raised. So he said, because Acharyas has explained this. So this person was new, that person who was asking me question. So he was telling me, who is these Acharyas? How is that they added some verses in Bhagavad Gita? So I said to that person, you must know who is Acharyas also. Acharya means those who, that person Acharyati iti Acharya, who explain the Shastras, their own experience. They don't want to deviate the people from the Shastras. They want to always connect. So this verse, if it is there, this is a question raised by Arjun. So he also said to us that there is critic version of the Shastras. Where actually, because the Shastras, the compilations is there. So that's why the Acharyas, they explain. If we have some confusion or contradictions, or something we don't understand, so we must seek the help of the senior devotees. Yes? Otherwise, in our preaching activities, we meet so many people. They have so many questions. And every day in our Bhagavatam class, we are so blessed. We got this opportunity to ask questions. Yes? And our devotees also, they explained it from the different scriptures in an authorized way. So, that's why in this section, we discussed that how Lord Krishna, he raised this question to his father that you are doing this program, function, whether you know it or not know it. Please explain to us that whether this program or function is based on the scriptural injunction or not. It means Lord Krishna is teaching to all of us that we must also try to understand through asking the questions. But these questions, when you ask, we must also accept if it is authorized and it is from the scriptures. Most of the time, what happens? If suppose a person is quoting from the scriptures, he is trying to help you, but still that person says, no, I don't accept. Like that, no? Who are they? Do you know? These people are those who never read the scriptures. उनको पता नहीं शास्त्र तो वो बोलते हैं ऐसा. They have so much arguments. But if you ask the questions, whether you go through any Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, any books, they will say, no, I have never gone. If you have never gone, then how? There is one place, that monastery's name was Jhan Bhumi. Do you know what is Jhan Bhumi? Jhan Bhumi, this is actually the meaning is Gyan Bhumi. But that professor was telling me, in Japan, this is Jhan Bhumi. So we visited. There was a professor. He's Dr. Mohite. So he is actually a follower of Buddhist follower, professor. So we stayed there in that monastery, and in the morning we had a discussion. I think 8 o'clock to, he gave me 1 year, 2 hours. And I was asking, because I was very curious by seeing their temple construction. Because the doom of that temple was the bell in an upward, like, Generally we ring the bell, that is upward. So I asked him how you get this idea. He was explaining all these things to me. Then we discussed about Bhagavad Gita also. And he was talking so many things. Although he never read Bhagavad Gita, kabhi padhte nahi. But he was talking that I have heard, like that. Then I asked to him one thing, sir, you are a professor. You are teaching to the PhD students, And if the students, they will ask you some questions, if you will tell them like that, what you are now talking with me, is it very good? Then he thought that, these questions. Then I said, first of all, read Bhagavad Gita. Because you are a professor, although you are a Buddhist, you are not reading. I know that you people don't read these things, you are against of it. But you should read and tell like that. So sometimes we see the people actually, they go for debate, they do arguments, but there was no basis. But the devotee Srila Prabhupada trained all the devotees in this ISKCON, that devotees can explain the scriptures in a very authorized way, with the factual, with fact. So that's why here we have this opportunity. We are every day hearing, we should also preach this message. Because Lord Krishna, He is demonstrating it by asking the same question to His Father. We must also ask questions, but at the same time when we hear, we must accept also. So thank you very much. We'll end here. So if anyone has any questions or comments, so now you can ask or give comments. Anyone to give a comment?
Especially I liked that secret of Krishna book selling and Kapila Dev teachings also. So very nice, Prabhu. Thank you very much for sharing your from the experiences while on Sankirtan. That is always so interesting and so enlivening to hear. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you. Bless me that I
Hare.
could do it more and more.
You are doing so sincerely for so many years. Thank you, Prabhu.
He has a question.
Hare Krishna Maharaj Ji, thank you for the wonderful lecture.
Yes.
I have a question. In today's time, Christian culture has taken over social media or YouTube or even movies.
Yes, put the mic like that.
So like, I have a younger brother, he's 13 years old. He has an inclination towards Christian culture because of the network they have created in movies, social media and stuff like that. So how can I motivate him or how can I push him to read Bhagavad Gita?
Very nice questions. Recently we visit Basai. In Mumbai there is a place Basai. So that is posh area in Basai, and we are distributing books there. And so many people were visiting our stalls. And most of them are converted Christians. Yes, converted. So those who are converted, they start to talk with us English. बात करते English में वो लोग. And so many of them, they were appreciating the activities of ISKCON. They are appreciating. And they took also Bhagavad Gita, other books also. Basically, our Jugal Prem Prabhu used to give them Science of Self-Realization book. That book. Because there is so many talk. So the youngsters, because whatever they study in the schools and colleges, all their syllabuses are designed like that. The words, all their topics, they are designed like that. You will never find anything which is waste our own culture. Specifically the examples, some stories like that. There is nothing like that. If they have written something there, like they have like these stories. And what kind of stories, If old father and mothers are there, their son died, and this mother is worshipping Laddu Gopal, then they will criticize, Maybe this woman is mad. She lost her son, but still she is worshipping a Laddu Gopal, and she is feeling that this is my son. Maybe she is in hallucination. Like that, there are explanations. We are not worshipping Lord Gopal in our village, like Krishna at the homes for that. But they write like that. So if someone read these topics, any students, what will think? He will think that, this is definitely hallucination. Hey, Ismail. So due to this educations and our peoples are not aware of it. So that's why they are sending their children to those schools, to those circumstances where they are getting all these educations. So that's why they start to ask the questions. So that whatever you are doing, these are all bogus. Yeah? Superstitions. Ye sab andhavishwas hai. What they are doing, these are very scientific. So this is like polemic preaching. They are doing this preaching, basically in India. So sometimes these peoples, they appreciate and they take the books. So last time I was doing program in school. So there is a city, in that city, the last school we visited, that was St. Mary's School. St. Mary's School. That person who took me for getting permission in that school, so he had that desire that his children should study in that school. Padhna chahiye. But due to high charges, so he could not afford for that. But we went there. So we were requesting to that nun. She was that principal. So we are requesting, we have this value education exam, 70% from Bhagavad Gita. The questions are from Bhagavad Gita, and like that we are explaining. So that lady, she actually said that no, we have our own like value-based educations are there, exams also there. We teach to students. And that person was standing. And I started to explain that lady. Then I asked to her that you are from Bharat, India. Have you read Bhagavad Gita? No, I have never read Bhagavad Gita. So then I asked that you are very intelligent. So I was explaining about that. Why should we give this education? 90% children are from Sanatan Dharma. They could read Bhagavad Gita. This is the opportunity for them. But she declined. She said no. So such cases are more. But when the students are there, at least request them to chant mantra, but they don't chant. Yesterday also Maharaj was telling that. Primary stage you tell them that chant mantra. If he is not inclined to chant mantras, you give them some philosophical books. Like we have good books, Beyond Illusion and Doubt. There is a book Srila Prabhupada wrote. That book, he specifically wrote about that so many philosophers are there, Western philosophers they are there. Let that book, you can give some books to him. You can invite him to our youth programs. So if he will hear somehow other, he will get some benefits from it. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you for sharing such a wonderful book distribution realization. So, Prabhuji, my question is related to book distribution. So, we found some time when we go out for distribution, so whenever we try to convince someone, so we convince a person for a very long time, still they do not take a book. And sometimes people come and just telling them little bit about the books they take. So, like, what is the our effort matter in this book distribution? Really, like, what is the secret of book distribution?
So, when I do book distribution, I get inspirations. Those devotees who are with me, I actually take inspirations from them. What I am doing last so many years, what I am doing. Sometimes I get the success. Sometimes people don't take from me also. मुझसे भी नहीं लेते. But I tried. Initial days when they sent me to any city, those days, I actually from the morning 9 o'clock to evening 9 o'clock, I was just roaming. बांट रहे book. Someone is taking, someone is not taking. Sometimes I discuss with them. Book distribution means when we go home visits, we do visits to the people. I think that books are the medium for me to meet a person. These are the medium. I want to share the Krishna consciousness with them. Like that I do. So when we think that I am going to share this knowledge with someone, not that just selling the books. किसी को ऐसा लग रहा है कि मैं खाली केवल पुस्तक सेल करने जा रहा हूँ, he cannot do more time. वो ज़्यादा नहीं कर सकता है, ज़्यादा समय नहीं कर सकता है. Yes? If he said that will, that yes, I want to give, then he can give. So once we were doing 2 devotees, and some of our, there was a camp in Nathdwara temple. So here Achintya Gaur Prabhu, some devotee students, they were participating in that program. So we went there. And Chakravarti Prabhu, he told me, you go for book distributions. These are for new devotees. Let them to participate. You go for book distributions. I was thinking, let me to attend this program. मुझको इसको attend करना चाहिए. I was thinking like that. But he was insisting me, you go for book distribution. So I found one devotee. He was a IITian from Delhi. So that devotee, so that 3 days, we both, every day going for book distributions. And we visited whole people of Nathdwara. Even we go to the court and we met many peoples. And I was just looking towards that devotee, Pulkit Prabhu, his name, I think forget, spiritual name. So he was distributing the books so enthusiastically. So I was getting inspirations. कभी-कभी मुझे नहीं लगता था यार ये तो लेगा नहीं, मैं क्या करूं? So I was sitting there. But he was distributing the books. So I also start to distribute. Like that we get inspiration from the devotees. Those devotees who are going for book distributions, sometimes I don't have that zeal, interest. For some days, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि नहीं जाना चाहिए. But Jugal Prabhu says, he just, then I seeing his face, नहीं जाना पड़ेगा आज. Let's go today. Like that. Sometimes this also happen. So this enthusiasm, because we are here. Recently we visited one big temple. The brahmacharis, when they saw my vehicle, they said me one thing, I am telling you. They said me, previously they used to do all book distribution. They were doing marathon. But that brahmachari was telling me, alas, now we are not doing. Kar hi nahi rahe. This is the condition. So they got some inspiration by seeing us. बहुत अच्छा गाड़ी बनाया आपने, So we are doing this. So you can do also. Yes. We will also design some vehicle like that. So they got also inspirations. So by seeing the devotees, those who are distributing the books, you will also get inspirations. If you will see those devotees, those who are not doing book distribution, how can you get inspirations? You cannot get. You will get some different inspirations. Okay, thank you. He is also. This is last question, okay? Personally, you want to ask question? Okay. Thank you very much. जगदुशील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे.